Good Saturday afternoon, friends and neighbors. Tesweegi at the desk with the Saturday Scouts with your 2026 Lucky Day Holland Series champion, Hoofddorp Pioneers. We did it! We only lost, what, 2 games all postseason run? If that, let's rewind and remind all of y'all of how amazing this team has been. We start off in the wild card when we swept Haarlem-Kinheim by an aggregate score of 8-5. Came back from down 4-2 in game 1, courtesy of Tyrell Mercado hitting a 2-run double. And then JC Sulbaran pitches a gem, or starts a gem, 5 innings of 2-hit baseball. Sam Nyman the hold, Franklin van Gerp the save. The Freak Coop did go the distance, but, oh, hello. Welcome in, Raiders from EVC. Hello, Internet Uncle. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the weekend so far. It is Pride weekend here in Toronto, and I'm going out to the festivities later today. VM User, thank you for the follow. It's also Canada Day long weekend, so I booked Monday off to go with Tuesday, so I got a 4-day stretch. And I'm going to be doing some maxing the relaxing, and possibly doing a little bit of extra streaming as well, just not of out of the park baseball. I have an extra Switch dock. I have an Elgato. It's about darn time I use it. So, we're just breaking down the postseason that was, for those of you who weren't able to join me last weekend. Wildcard, we finished 4th in Honkbal Hoofdklasse. We, the Hoofddorp Pioneers. Swept Kinheim. Went on to the playoffs. Busum Honkbal Club Alan Weber just ate our lunch. 18-4 in game 1. Like, this was a slobber knocking. Stein van der Schaaf did not do that well. Nobody looked good in that game. Then Falke van Doorn pitched no-hit baseball until like the 7th. On the road, I point out. We got to Kai Timermans. And it was all over but the shouting in game 2. Game 3, 15-2, JC Sulbaran goes the distance. Only 1 earned run. As we chase Aaron Brooks out of the building. He fails to get out of the first. And we complete the win courtesy of a 4-run bottom of the 3rd against Lars Hoyer. Frankie van Gerp picking up the save. Big bounce back win for Stein van der Schaaf after his first appearance. Which brings us to the Holland Series, which did not feature last year's finalists because they both lost 3-1 in the playoffs. That would be Honkbal Club Alan Weber and Curaçao Neptunus. So we played RCH Penguins. The Penguins have not won a Holland Series. This franchise, the Pioneers, only won their only championship in 1997, and we swept them. It was close at times, but Sulbaran pitched another complete game, allowing only 1 earned run on the road. Also, Aiden Kirsten with a grand slam? In this dead ball era? Okay. We hang another crooked number on them. It was 4-3 at one point for us, and then we just dumped 6 runs on them. Looks like Falke van Doorn ran into some wildness issues. 7 walks to 6 strikeouts. Only 2 hits, though. Bring the series back to Hoofddorp. Van der Schaaf, big comeback win. Luke Wilkins gives up 8 walks. But we can barely do anything with them. And finally, in Game 4, a back-and-forth affair. We go up 6-3. They tie it. We retake the lead in the bottom of the 7th. Courtesy of Aiden Kirsten again. And we hang on for dear life. Theo Pelikan picks up the win with a blown save. Sem Nyman the save. And Gideon Marlin wins MVP, going 4 for 10 and getting on base at a 714 clip. Real dude, by the way. Real Kurosawan. He's going to be our third baseman next season. And we are now at free agent filings. So here's the situation where we find ourselves. I did some updates between streams, specifically because I wanted to make the league a little more realistic to what Honkbal Hoofdklasse is. So I haven't changed the starting rotation down to 3 men, but I think we could probably get away with that. That might be a next year thing. But what I did do is I did reduce the active roster size and the reserve roster size down to 32, because that is actually the rule. So shout out Psycho Ducko, subscriber to the channel, for lending a hand with this. He actually is playing somewhere in the Dutch honkbal pyramid, so I had to give him some props on that. So I reduced the roster size, which means hopefully that we'll be able to make some smarter choices about who's going to be on this club. And it means that more of our top-level team will actually see play time. Or at least I hope that's the plan. We also have a 5 foreign player cap, and I think we already have that filled. Oh, and we have finished our promotions and relegations. So the Rosmalen Griffins, who started this save in Tweede Klasse, in the 3rd level of the pyramid, 2 promotions in a row, they now sit in the top club. And because of that, you can go get their uniforms from the Out of the Park forums, because I made them. I know EVC was promoting my uniform making work, so you can go sample it for yourself. You can also get jersey fonts for the Honkbal Hoofdklasse teams and an additional uniform pack for last year's promotees, Den Haag Storks. The Amsterdam Pirates have been relegated into Eerste Klasse, which is a bit of a slap in the face for a former champion in Honkbal Hoofdklasse. So Pirates down, the Chrome Tigers and the Quick coming back up. And we'll see if any of these other clubs can make their way up into the top club. Like Utrecht needs to come back, especially now that they have a uniform courtesy of or a stadium mod courtesy of Flying Canuck. So like I said, we've got 32 spots on our overall roster. 5 foreign player slots all taken at this point. So our free agent spending, what little we only have, what, 408 grand to spend with right now? Which in the real Honkbal Hoofdklasse is ridiculous. Like, that's not supposed to be there. Only 2 teams even charge for attendance. So let's look at the overall roster, and let's go position by position and see who we're keeping and who we're going to let go. Start with the pitchers. And because this is a dead ball era league, we don't need to focus so much on movement as opposed to PBAP and HR combined. So, Falcathon Dorn is a must. Especially if that changeup comes in. Are you kidding me? Already contributed to the top level club. Picked up 2 wins in the postseason. What a coming out party that was. The hope is that the control shows up at some point. This was our first round selection last season. Oh yeah, I gotta check the rookie draft. Okay, so the Griffins did make it up. Good. So he's a must. Warner and Goudot are already locked up, so they're not moving anywhere. Sulbaran, this is his final year, both with the team and on his contract, so might as well keep him running. And that's basically our starting pitching right there. Ryan Hogendorn is probably our next best prospect, and I could see him being more of a reliever than a starter. Especially with the 2 big pitches and the curveball changeup already. So now the question is, out of the relief core, I want to get down to like... Okay, so we have 10... We're going to have 10 pitchers on our starting roster. I only want to ditch guys if they're not going to develop into anything, like Alden Stacy here. We are going to release Alden. I think we're going to release Nick Los as well. Extreme Flyball? Yeah, that's a no from me, dog. Maybe Jesse Van S as well, because we have to remember we're going to be signing guys. Maybe someone in the lower levels can take advantage. Okay, so Nick Los already is on a major league deal, so we'll keep him. Wait, if we send him to the reserve roster, can we release him? No. Okay. So Nick Los is our backup pitcher. And then we got Stijn van der Schaaf, who probably should be a starter, but for now as a bullpen dude with 40 stamina and these stats, I will take that. Probably need to extend him long term, though, to really fully round out. We'll talk with him when we hit spring training. When we hit the preseason, we'll start to have those conversations, because I think they'll be able to accept less in that situation. I mean, here's how everyone did last season. Maxwell Cornelison, still waiting for him to finish developing. He's only 20 years old. Okay, catchers. Good news is, given how infrequently we play, we only need 1 on the top level club, so maybe having 2 on the reserve roster is not a bad idea. I want to keep Bolivar. He's doing pretty well. We've got him working on his quality of contact to improve his BABIP and maybe his avoid K. I got a sense that he can probably be our long-term catcher. Plus, he guns down runners like nobody's business. 30% RTO? Last season, that was really stinking good, and he played every single game, so... We only had to turn to Belliards for like a handful of at-bats. Even then, Belliards, not a good defensive catcher. I'd much rather go with someone like Jason Geisbertha. But all these other guys, most of them are real humans, you know? Alright, Van Alem could probably turn into something. Yeah, the The pickings are slim, so let's give Heiligers and Kut and Kaut a farewell. Ditto for Kylie and Moke. Let's keep Geisbertha and Belliards, I think is the right way to go. There's our catchers for next season. Let's take a look at the infielders. So Bram Stolivar. Yeah, that's not a playable bat in any of our league levels. Ditto for Max Funk. We want the funk. Give us the funk. And Jack van Gorkum, I mean, defensively he can play anywhere, but maybe we'll keep him just out of that. The bat is not impressive. Ditto for Yannick Romain. We'll heave-ho on Romain. So Raquelbin de Castro as our primary shortstop is a yes. Foreign dude, yeah. Expensive, yes. But 2 wins above replacement last year. Can't argue with that. Mephisson as our primary backup infielder. I like that. If he can improve the contact quality, then I really like it. Hemskirk. I got a soft spot for the guy. He's probably not going to be our starting second baseman next year, but he did make the final catch to seal us a title. First base, some combination of Van Gorkum and Vigers is probably the right way to go. If we can find someone better, sure. But I'm not going to be falling over myself. Yeah, so I think Jack Van Gorkum is on his way out. So Stein, Goody. Alright, so we're down to 8 infielders for 4 spots on the top club. Maybe 5 and bench spots. So we are going to sign someone. That I know. We've got to improve at second. I'd love to improve at first. Marlin and DeCastro can stay here as long as they like. All right. Outfielders. Mercado. Yes, we've already got him locked up. Yes, he's got an opt-out, but if he opts out, we're going to just extend him. We cannot lose this man, except to the majors. Yes, this is Breivik Valera. He's going to fill a corner outfield spot because I don't trust him at first anymore, or at second anymore. Can he play first is the question. I mean, a 60 defense at first is not bad. I just feel the 50 outfield range can still play in a corner outfield spot. I mean, he led the Honkball Hoofdklasse with a triple slash. I think the 436 is a new record. It is a new record for batting or for on base, but not for batting average. That was Benjamin Dill, who put up a 4.483 in 2017. The man from Antwerp. That's a goofy stat level for 31 games. Okay, so Honkball Hoofdklasse has always had a dead ball era. Good to know. Some other active players: Dwayne Kemp, Stein van der Meer, Signarf Loopstok, Christian Diaz, Kenny Berkenbosch. Who's the home run leader? Marvin Jacobus with 10. Yeah, this is a dead ball team. Or league. Hell, Enrique Starling Hotma hit 6 for Quick Amersfoort before they got relegated. We tried to sign him to replicate that and it didn't work. You have a few good seasons. You could probably find yourself on this list. Hi, Dwayne Kemp. If you're looking at this name, know that his full name is Ludovicus Jacobus van Mil, and he actually played in both Australia and League Redacted, as well as Honkbal Hoofdklasse. He's very much a globetrotter, and yes, 7'1". Sadly, I believe he passed away a few years ago. It's always interesting to see who's got, you know, the top results in such a short season league. Oh, and our outfielders. Got distracted. So, Mercado, Valera. I want to see Burleson develop. I don't feel comfortable playing him full-time just yet. Not with these numbers. But he's definitely going to be off the bench. Mikel Willem. Yeah, we'll keep him. Don Terstall. That's a no. Hulkammer. We can do better. And Brandon Santiago. No idea how we managed to turn in these numbers a few seasons ago, but at least he's a defensive outfielder. And Tromp's going to be our DH. Can't play first. Can't play corner outfields, except in a backup role. 5 triples last season. So, that's what we're looking for. Corner outfield, first base, and second base. And any pitching help we can secure. Keeping in mind that most of the major leagues are still going, it's only the end of August. Someone like Jeremy Profar could be interesting. Available from the Quebec Citadels. Yeah, Christian Diaz, we already let walk. Age 37. Elroy van Schaik is a fictional player. You don't see a face, and you see that they don't have any stats before 2025. They are a fictional dude. I mean, getting Jonathan Schoop would be a huge win for us, but that also eats most of our money. Today's broadcast is powered by Coca-Cola Zero. Not a sponsor, just what I'm sipping right now. And then if we look at the corner outfield, yeah, the options are a little more grim. I get behind a guy like David Niebuhr, coming out of Bad Hovendorp. Or the amazing name of Joost Bambacht as a left fielder. All right, so there's options, but they're going to be pricey. Maybe we play the waiting game. Let's get to the end of the Major League season and see who actually makes moves. I also want to see if Breivik Valera can finish learning either left or right field in time for the season. Gideon Marlin improves defense. Successful. Ooh. Can Gideon play second? He'd be a 60 there. So if Gideon moves to second base, that means Vigers would be our third baseman. Let's go take a look. And Hemskirk is working on his infield defense. Let's see what we can do with... Oh, Bolivar's now excelling. Oh, I like this. I like where this is going. A lot of excelling so far. Let's see if Vigers can work on his infield defense and get that into the queue. Uh-oh. No! Not the guru! Gideon, buddy, what are you doing? I had hopes! Ah. Fingers crossed for a positive or neutral result. Pray for me, boys. Sven Hoyer picked up instantly. Gone from the Pioneers, heads over to the Penguins. Yeah, I'm content to play cards very close to the chest right now. Unless there's like a big stuff guy that I'm missing. Manus Ban. Ooh, no. Bit of a jerk. Okay. Henning Hulsbergen. Huh. You know, I could get behind this deal. Yeah, let's lock him up. That's a quality lefty. And at the right price. Let's get to the winter meetings. Valera excelling. Okay. Guess you can teach an old dog new tricks. Oh, Vigers is already practicing? Whoops. Okay, do we want to give Van Gorkum some work? Let's work on his outfield defense. There we go. I do like the number of excelling I see. Oh no. Gideon. Well, he's not getting extended. Hopefully he can shake it off before the season starts. All right, we're seeing some signings coming in. Henry van Manen heads to Kinheim. Interesting looking infielder. Johan Stoke goes to Rosmalen. And Baumbach re-signs with the Griffins. Used! Alright, Alright, Hulsbergen likes our offer. Luke Heikope had a good season. 3 home runs last year. Opportunistic base stealer, but not sure about the defense. Ditto for Van Ginkel, the Gink. Alright, Ellard van Nieuwenhuizen. I can get behind this as a first baseman or bench bat. Oh, that's a lot of money for that. John Schutten. Oh, he was bad last year. Never mind. Let's check in on Scope. A 1-year deal with Rosmalen. Compared to Jeremy Profar. Question is, do we believe that Scope at age 34 is going to keep up the good work and is worth the extra money? Well, I'm definitely not going to let Rosmalen just walk away with him. And the reason I want to save some scratch is because I was able to find a few guys over in the indie leagues who could be interesting gets because they are Dutch. Like Nick Harmon, big power bat, no avoiding strikeouts, but did pretty well. Looks like he was a failed draftee from last year's Honkball Hoofdklasse class. But he cost $250,000 to acquire. And there's Brian Cappers, if we wanted a replacement for Bolivar, but I'm happy with Bolivar. That's a problem. And then there's Jakey Josefa. Real dude from the Diamondbacks. He might be our second baseman. Love the bat. I can live with the defense. But when is the Pioneer season even over? Or Pioneer League season over? Oh, it already is over. Okay. So Josefa might be coming available really quick. Hello, Jordan Luplow. Ooh. That's a fun bat to have. Let's go, Oakland. Clap, 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 go clap. So that's why I have Josefa circled as a possible get. Let's take a look at the trading block. Anyone interesting? Misha Harkson, upcoming free agent. Ralph Koku, walks too many dudes. Looks like Osterhout is trying to get out of some bad contracts. Griffin's looking to do some moving as well. Not seeing anyone calling my name on the trading block, so we're just going to keep plowing along here. No improvement? What, did he just stop? He was on track to excel. Yeah, I'm a little upset about that. Alright, so Hulsbergen and Scope. Not giving a word either way. Yashar Klotita heads to Alan Weber. He heads to Busum. Good to see that one of our dudes is latching on with another club. He had a great 2025 and a terrible 2026 and lost his starting job. All right, Hemskirk with a defense boost. Hey, that's a second baseman. All right, Hemskirk might actually stick with the club. Nah, we're going to let Van Gorkum figure it out. All right. Let's get someone else in. Let's see if Breivik can learn a new position. Let's see if he can figure out the whole first base thing, because if so, then we don't need to search for a first baseman. We can figure out what to do with Scope. Let's not forget, there's 3 other Dutch teams trying to make signings the same time we are. Christian Diaz heads to the Penguins. Big signing for RCH. They want to head back to the postseason. Trade going on. Ooh, that's a big one. Rutger Bray, Evan Iraskin, and Martin Schmidt for Frank Flott. All right, that's a choice. Frustrated, better than struggling outright. Looks like Van Gorkum is at least going to end up out of the pain zone. See, I wish there was a way to put this view on my homepage. Jonathan Scope comes to Hofedorp. That's a big signing. We want to go back to the postseason. Thank you very much. So Valera in left. Unless he learns first, in which case... Yeah, let's get Scope in on the infield defense train. Let's see what Breivik is trying to learn. First base, thank goodness. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Which means we still need 2 outfielders, yes, but flexibility is not a bad thing. And once Jakey Joseph is available, we're just going to go after him. Hayden Kirsten, who accidentally became a free agent. And he was decent for us, but I still feel like we can do better. Even if the better is Valera. Which then means we can refocus on infielders again. Are we really going to roll with Jandito Trump? No, let's get Ole Hofstede. That actually looks really good. Get to the draft pool announcement and see who we're going to be able to get. By dint of being promoted, we do indeed get a single draft pick. We only run this for the Hoofdklasse. So, prediction is Oosterhout is going to get Arthur van Beek. Big outfielder. Jacques Nijman. Good shortstop. Gustav de Man. Oh, that's a first baseman. But a 90 power rating. Okay. 21 home runs in 70 games at junior level. De Man is right. Alex Lopez from the Antilles. Super utility dude. Okay. Bas Kranendonk. Ooh. Oh, if he's available, I want him. Irvin Mace. Oh, that's a change oof. So we should all. I know we should always draft best and not based on position of need, but there are some really good options here. And not Irvin Meese. Ferry Jaegers. That's a change oof. Okay. Not seeing any pitchers that really leap out as a must. We only get one pick after all. Let's get a scouting report on Kranendonk. Ditto Jacques Nijman. Adbor. Let's get a scouting report on him. See if his outfield can play. Don't need infield. Worried about the error on Joseph de la Torre, but I'll ask for a report anyway. Demon as a first baseman would be kind of funny. Hoagland, no. I mean, a catcher to replace Bolivar would be nice, but not a necessity. I do like that he's durable and he's got defense. Moritz Horston, let's take a look on him. Oh, that's a very good player. Dirk-Jan Lorette. Some of these guys clearly have a longer runway before they are ready to go, but at least we can request some scouting reports. Like Noah Schepper is clearly a first baseman in disguise. Unless we can get some defensive boosts, in which case, hey, that is a second baseman. My poor scout is going to be busy. There are some very good options this high up in the draft. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to pick. The Iceberg. Sorry, Icebert. I'm going to give him the nickname anyway. This game needs more nicknames. Let's go week to week and finish up our off season. Alright, Henning Hulsbergen joins the Pioneers. And he will be here for the next 3 years. Gets to be a key part of our bullpen. Alongside Van Gerp, Sam Nyman, Van der Schaaf, Pelican, and Mendez. The hope is with Mendez, either the changeup or the curveball finish is developing. I'm just glad he's a local. So our foreign players are De Castro, Gudo, Warner, Valera, and Bolivar. Alright, Drew Toussaint has provided his 2 cents. There is a foreigner in the draft in Miguel Enriquez. That's an interesting option. Let's keep going on scouting Schepper. I got a good feeling about him. Ditto on Maldonado. I need at least 2 scouting reports on these guys before I can start trusting what my scout is saying. Like, take a really, really good look. Draft is coming up quick. I mean, we made our 2 big signings in Scope and Huysbergen. Alright, De La Torre is a dunce, so we're not going to go with him. Vandenhoff. Okay, I like that. Let's request another one, though. Ditto for Villarreal. So Mafissin is no improvement. Let's take a look here. Valera's got 3 days left to learn first base. I like that. Bolivar still working on excelling on contact. I love it. And then let's see if we can get Geisbertha in to improve his catcher defense. Having a backup is never a bad thing. See if Tromp can work on his outfield defense too while we still have him. Breivik Valera has learned first base and got an improvement in his infield. So, guess we're not going to put him at left field after all. Or it gives us the flexibility. I'd still very much like to keep him in left field. Yeah, Burleson is not ready to DH just yet. Van Gorkum, improving good. I'm beginning to wonder if my scout is just not able to get average accuracy above average. Like, come on, dude. Okay, that settles it. We gotta get Boss Kronkendonk. Or Kronendonk. If he falls to us, that's a must. That is a franchise-defining pick. More so than Falke van Doorn. Okay, so we can't actually get more improvement on the scouting than that, but I mean, look at this guy. He'd already play left field for us. All right, we got Ole Hofstede. It's going to be our new... Let's get him to left. Can Valera play right is the question. Well, he's more comfortable in right than left already, so we'll flip him around. Actually, we'll just turn off the force start altogether. I'd rather have the worse defense, the better results. So let's go Breivik to first, Scope to second. Then we'll put Hofstede in as our left fielder. Yeah, I feel like we've got the combinations here to make this work. I still want to have Valera in left just for training purposes during spring training. And I would much rather have Tromp DH than Hofstede. So let's lock him to DH and see what that looks like. Send Burleson down to the minors. Or the reserve roster. There we go. That looks a little better. Nees van der Maas heads to the Griffins. As Jakey Josefa. Yes, he's free. There's our second baseman. All right, let's lock up Coppers to take over from... or to be an option for Bolivar. Because he can play first base too. Right, let's do the comparison between Bolivar. Peak's a little better on Coppers. Defense is a little better on Boli. There's also the question of, can Coppers actually meet those targets, considering he's already 23? Let's go after Josefa. Let's give him a 3-year deal. You're not getting a player opt-out, buddy. Three years at 55. Players too expensive for our tastes. First year draft is at the start of November. We can repatriate Jakey Josefa, and if I can get another picture to put in the lineup intros, that would be swell. Van Gorkum, successful. Alright. I'll take it. Josefa so far in the lead. Guys, Bertha struggling. Whatever. There are... Oh, yeah, that's bad. There are better catchers out there, after all. I can always swivel and go get another one. Our hitting coach wants to go to the athletics. I'll give you a pay increase to stick around. Thank you, Ben. Very cool. It's a long off season in Honkball. Alright, Scope finishes his complex work. See if Hofstede can work on his outfield defense while we're at it. And Viger's on his infield. Right, he's already still practicing. Right. See if Santiago... Cue him up. Work on Belliards and Meyer. Goudot was the top pitcher even though he only made 3 starts? That doesn't sound right. Oh. Griffins have made the better deal. Yeah, let's meet the demand. Apparently, Rosmalin's been looking over my shoulder. Guys, Bertha. Didn't improve. Trump apparently showed up in not the best shape of his career. All right. Let's see who is going to become a Hofdorp Pioneer this season. The Osterhout Twins will select the big left-handed pitcher, Irvin Meese. You better hope that changeup shows up. I mean, 2+ pitches already. He can probably be a bullpen dude, but that's a risk. The Storks. I've selected Alex Lopez from the Dutch Antilles. Big power bat, big bat altogether. He can play a number of positions on the diamond. Storks going with the long game, taking a high schooler. Kinheim takes Arthur van Beek. I don't see it. They're going with a contact bat, I guess, which means he's available. Crank it, Kronkendonk. Put him on the active roster right away. And work on his outfield defense. Yes! Yes! Face of the franchise right here. Also an amazing last name. Kronendonk. We're calling him Donkey Kong. Ah, Dave, thank you for the hydration. My cola is just about finished. I'll be right back, and we'll keep going with the draft. All right. Back to the draft. So we got Boss Kronkendonk. Keep adding an extra K in there. Kronendonk. Penguins will select Francis van der Stelt. That is a first baseman. Ooh, 5'10". Okay, maybe you hope he can play some outfield. Neptunus. The man. Gustav de Man. Honkball Club, Alan Weber. I gotta figure out what the... It was like Dutch alphabet. So the letter names is Haseave. Okay, that's easy to remember. They grab Shock Nyman. And the Rotsmallen Griffins, welcome to Honkball Hoofdklasse. You will take... David Villarreal. Alright, so one of the guys I had my eye on. And the rest of those high-quality players head into the draft pool. Or at least we'll get there eventually. So Estanista is available. That kind of a pitcher plays. Even if he comes back and he's not as good, that plays. John Swain, available as a free agent. Do we really need another pitcher, though? Actually, let's wow this guy. Let's get Odd Boar anyway. Boer. The draft result means that we do have a lot of players available, but now we're all going to be competing for them. So maybe we get them, maybe we don't. Do we go get Falke's brother, Danny Van Dorn? Change oof, yes, but he's already got a few plus pitches. Let's play the waiting game here. I want to still see if we can get Josefa. Alright, leaning towards us. No improvement. Santiago is struggling. Man, short program's a real hit or miss this offseason. Jason, that is an excellent idea. We are going to edit the name. Ooh, I can't afford Estanista anymore. LA spotted him. Rats. Oh, and he's a switch hitter too. Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, we're going to edit that name. Kronkendonk. Thank you, different Jason. Much appreciated. Penguins making some signings. Sharon Martis, one of the big remaining pitchers on the board, heads to the Storks. Carter Keyboom has double Dutch availability? Ooh. Shame we can't afford him. I don't think he wants to come to Hoofdklasse just yet. Is Copper's getting some offers? Yeah, let's go after Cappers anyway. Might as well. Let's see if we can pick up anyone. All right, Ole Hofstede adds more defense. That's a good outfield. I can get behind that. That's a left fielder more than a right fielder, I think. Attaboy Ole. Which again makes me think that we need to go get a first baseman. Or Valera to first, Scope to second, Cronendonk to right, Hofstede to left. This I like. I think that's our team. We got Van Gorkum and Santiago who can back up. Maybe we go get a defensive outfielder just to pick up the slack, but I like that lineup. Adbor not quite ready to contribute at the top club just yet. If we get Josefa to be our second baseman, then I guess do we need Josefa then? I think we can let him walk. Or we keep him as a backup in case De Castro doesn't pan out. He is a pending free agent after all. Tough call, tough call. Either that or Ole becomes our backup outfielder. Valera to left. Kronkendonk to right. Okay, so we're still gonna keep Josefa. But I think we're pretty much done on signing players. I'm supposed to have a goal for... ooh, Santiago had a bad training exercise. Kronkendonk. Working on his defense. Good, good. Alright, everyone's frustrated now. Besides, we may have to let Marlin walk if he continues to be a Yutz. Jaden Estanista heads to the Dodgers. Even outside of the FPBB save, they vex me. Penguins spending some money. Okay. Looks like signings have slowed down a little bit. Brian Coppers heads to the Honkball Club. So now we got a... ooh. Coach likes him more than Bolivar. So we can send guys Bertha down to the reserve roster. I think we got a tandem between Cappers and Bolivar. Worst case scenario, Bolivar is trade bait. And I notice Yukarin Kazami is streaming right now. We're going to be raiding into her at the conclusion of our off-season. And of course, Dishnet, no improvement. Boo! Come on, boss. I may have just drafted a DH. Oh well. What was I going to say? Dishnet 34, available for streaming the Saturday Showdown later tonight. Make sure you tune in around 8 o'clock Eastern. Alright, so if we get Josefa, Scope to first, Valera to left. Hofstede backs up left, or... Yeah, no, I think we got to do that. Okay. What do we feel like doing for our... Let's see if Burleson can work on his outfield defense. Dear Josefa, sign. There we go. Jakey Josefa. Coach likes him over Castro. Let's force start Josefa at second. Valera to left. Or right field, actually. No, we want him in left, right. Left, right. Duck season, rabbit season. Josefa's a lefty who hits lefties better. Okay. So, Scope, first base, just for the one season we got him. Valera, left. Kronkendonk in right. Tromp DHs. Marlin at third. Okay, this could be a wagon next season. We're going to have to let some guys go because we have too many good players now. Let's get Coppers to work on his defense at catcher. And then his defense at first. And let's see if Josefa can work on his infield defense and learn a new position. Actually, let's do the learn new position first. There we go. Hall of Fame voting has begun. The pickings are slim. I think you got to go with Rombley, Engelhart, and Cordemans, and that's it. All right, Belliard's with a successful improvement. Right on. Always good to have that. Boer did not sign with us? Oh, he's still thinking about it. Mercado frustrated. Vigor's on track. Van Dorn frustrated. Working on his curveball. That's the pick you chose. The pitch you chose, not the changeup. Okay. Mendez working on his curveball. There you go. Let's go back to here. Vigors is so close to getting excellent. Team Chaos, or Dark Chaos Gaming, thank you for the follow. Meyer didn't get any improvement. I wish we could choose what position players will learn. So I guess DeCastro's going to walk at the end of this season. We'll see if we can get a better foreign player. Josefa as our shortstop or second baseman would be ideal. Bolivar might end up walking. Marlin, who knows? To learn third. That's not what I was expecting. Okay, I guess we're still going to force him at second for the spring training, though. Oh, hey, you pulled a Shoeless Joe Jackson with a drop. Awesome. Yeah, we should go check in on the perfect teams at some point today. Coppers, no improvement. Infield boots and learns third base. We're still going to force him to learn second. That's a second baseman right there. Not a third baseman. Not with that arm. So Coppers is going to work on his infield defense. Josefa is going to work on his infield. Can we teach Cronendonk a new position? DK Cronendonk. DK Cronendonk is here. Alright, so is it Cronkendonk or is it Crocendonk? That's what it is. He has legally changed his name. Any other big signings coming over the wire? So far, the big money winner is Luke Highcope going to the Neptunus on a 3-year deal. Nace van der Maas heading to the Griffins. They're spending their new promotion money. But for a single year, it's SCOUTS deal with us. So we're paying 2 guys $250,000 combined. Man, if I knew what the drops were going to be, you think I'd have kept that information secret? I mean, I play theme teams. You're asking me about the meta, and I don't know. I'm just glad that Nap La Joie has finally dropped for my Shibugamo Francophonies, the French last name team. I also have to start playing some tournaments so I can get enough clubhouse stars for Monsieur Bell. Let's work on some base running. I feel like Rakelbin can definitely be more aggressive. As can Mercado. Oh, we haven't asked Mercado to work on his outfield defense? Oh, for shame. Vigors excelling at generate bat speed. Let's go. I want to see more of that. Van Gorkum for Neil Lamay. Van Gorkum's kind of a dunce, but I don't see the value in You know what? Let's do it. Another starting pitcher, or another pitcher, which means we can leave a youngster like Levy DeGroff or Maxwell Cornelison off the roster. Rob Kortemans enters the Hall of Fame as an Amsterdam Pirate. That can't be his entire history. Hold on a moment. Kortemans played until he was 46. Wow. His debut season in Honkball Hoofdklasse was in 1999 with Kinheim. He also had a trial for the Unit President Lions in Taiwan and has represented the Honkballers at the Premier 12, the European Baseball Championships, the World Baseball Classic in 2006. Yeah, Robbie Kortemans absolutely qualifies as a Hall of Famer. So Bohr wants a major league deal now. He'd only be a bench bat on our club. You know what? Let him go to Zoetermeer. They need more players. I could definitely stand to save some dosh. Biggest budget in the league. Or biggest payroll. Goes to the Wassenaar Greens. Okay, so he's going to be playing in Eerste Klasse next season. Base stealing so far, running on track. These long programs sure are long. I may need to tweak the timing on the short program so I don't have as much time to get as many in. Forgot Mercado's already in a program, so can't really work on that much. Bolivar is already training right now. Doesn't make sense to invest in two 35-year-olds beyond what I've already done. Let's work on Hemskirk's base stealing technique. And then let's do the same with John Dito. Stealing improves and aggressiveness improves. All right. Crocodonk's going to be a problem on the base pads, as is Josefa. Oh, he's looking very good. Hemskirk struggling on base stealing technique. Come on, guys. Vigers, let's work on his base running. Wait, he's already Oh, wow. He is very excelling. Cappers can't run to save his life. Severe laceration from scissors. Ouch. Preseason is almost here. Come on, spring training. And we'll see if we are starting the season at a ballpark I will actually be able to play in. Base running excelling. Okay. Right on. Preseason has begun. We have to cut 6 players from our overall roster. Oh, Mendez is getting towards excelling too. Right on. I dislike that Falke might ruin his secondary pitch improvement. Hopefully he can pick up the slack. Our first game of the season will be at home versus Oosterhout. So we are going to be playing that one on April 15th. De Castro base running improves. Ooh. Gonna get some more doubles and triples this season. Looks like Busum Asiave is making some moves late in the season. At this point, let's just finish up. Not going to send anyone else to the dev lab. Very curious to see if the Pioneers can repeat. Vigers has locked in his bat speed. Nice. He's already got to excelling. Now it's just a matter of how much. Alright, Warner, control bump. And he's healthy. Van Gerp, velo drop. Okay, so he may not be sticking around after his contract. Pelican with a stuff bump and a velo up. Change up cutter combo, good to see. Sam Nyman, stuff drop, movement up, and control. Right on. Hulsbergen still has room to grow. DeGraff with a movement drop. Marlin, power up, but eye and gap dropping. That's fine. Mephiston improving. Mercado. Eye drops, but everything else looks good. Nice. Yeah, we'll ditch Marlin. It's going to be a very short spring training here for the Pioneers. Look at this. I've never seen a bar go all the way. Kevin Vigers, have yourself an off season. Well, at least invite Burleson up to the top club for an opportunity to participate. But I think Josefa's going to be our second baseman. Ooh, 65 infield range. And he'll take over as shortstop next season when DeCastro walks. Actually, should I just flip the two? DeCastro's already got a head start. Josefa's already going to be our... Yeah, let's do that. Josefa's going to be sticking around long term. DeCastro already knows how to play second. We'll just flip the order of the two. Outstanding. So we got a potential power bump and a power bump for Vigers. I'll take it. No improvement on Falke van Dorn. Mendez. Curveball got better. Bolivar. BAPIP rating up. Yes. And Hemskirk. Base running better. Bolivar's taken his spot back as our primary catcher. Let's get to opening day, and then let's make some of the hardest choices we'll ever have to make. We are last in the prospect pool. Oh, Neptunus swooped in and signed John Swain. Of course, they've got The Man, Valero, Castillo. They've got some decent prospects. All right, we got to cut our team down. So, pitcher-wise... Question is Falke van Dorn a better option than Van der Skaaf? Right now. I think he is. So DeGraaf we're going to send down to the reserve roster, and we're going to keep him. Ditto for Van den Ovide. Ditto for Cornelison. Still have maybe one too many bullpen dudes. Yeah, let's send Semlauf down as well. Mendez is stopper. Pelican is setup man. I like how this looks. I think this is a really good pitching staff. Starters look a little old, but then you got Falke van Dorn. Cannot wait to see how he excels. And then out of the players on the bench, we're going to keep Coppers and Bolivar both. We're going to keep Vigers as a utility infield dude. I'd rather have Hemskirk over Mafison. And I'd rather have Hofstede over either of Santiago and Burleson. And we're still 2 players over. Rats. Look at this. Now, because he's not a real dude and because he doesn't have a face gen, I am going to create one for him. There he is. That's our boss. Valera figured out left field a little bit more during the offseason, so that'll work. DeCastro got better at second. And we'll see if we extend him or if we let him walk after this season. Yeah, Scope lost 5 points on infield range. Keeping him at first is absolutely the right call. And Coppers or Bolivar as our starter. You know what? I think Bolivar's going to head down. So we got Vigers and Hemskirk as our backup infielders. Hofstede as our backup outfielder. Primary one anyway. And Hemskirk can backfill for DeCastro defensively. Ditto for Hofstede backfilling Valera. That I really like. That way Bolivar becomes our backup catcher in case Coppers gets injured. Now, is Coppers a real dude? No, he is not. So Coppers gets a fictional face. Hi, Brian. The life of Brian. From Sint Maarten, but still a white dude. Neat. That means Falk is also going to get a fictional face. Oh, that's a beard. Let's That's more like it. Old-looking 19-year-old. So the question is, who goes down out of the guys we have? I think it's going to be Lame. Yes, I know we traded for him, but it's helpful to have a backup option. Now we do still have Van Gerp, Marlin, Tromp, and Van der Schaaf available for a little bit longer. The question is DeCastro worth keeping if his BABIP still hasn't shown yet? Considering we have Josefa, and he's a foreign player, and I think the answer is no. I think we let Riquelme go after this season. Waiting for one of Van der Schaaf or Hulsbergen to take over leadership. I mean, yes, the home run against is an issue, but Hulsbergen is in there because he's a lefty specialist. Actually, let's make him a lefty specialist and backup role middle relief. Go. Josefa does have a real face, but I need to reach out to someone on the forums to go get it into the game. Mercado's a real dude. Marlin's a real dude. Tromp is. DeCastro. And the preseason prediction is we will win the pennant this year. They're calling for Valera to get on base at a 537 clip again. They're also expecting Warner and Sulbaran and Van Doorn to all be good pitchers. Curacau's rotation, though, DeBlock, Kelly, and DeGroot all showing up? That's going to be fun. I keep looking at Krakendonk and laughing. He's already got 50s across the board. Is he our future DH? Probably. But he's going to be so fun to have for the next 3 seasons plus. Alright, let's go take a look at the Themis Teamis before I raid y'all into Yukadin Kazami, who's not only doing some pack ripping, she's also doing some condiment ranking. So, the Clonfair Bulquingle Extra Stitching. Players with 10 characters or more in their last name. Valenzuela continues to be a boss. We got the new Isringhausen a while ago. We got the new Christensen a while ago. Samarzija. Hyphens count. Spaces do not. And we picked up Red Schoendienst to be our new second baseman. Did really well last season. Doing pretty well here in low silver. I think we're out of the relegation zone. We are saving our money to go get someone like maybe a big Isringhausen, or I know EVC just pulled Yaz. I would love to get him on our club. There's a new Mission Edition Mizorowski. That could anchor our rotation for sure. But unfortunately, I don't have any gets to get right now. Maybe it'll be time soon to finish all the live missions and then sell the rewards. Okay, that's comedic. An iron worth 382 points just to finish a pack mission. Bob Cajun Bob's where I'm sending all my drops to, because that's how we do the Mob Your Bob giveaway. Next one will be next weekend. Nicolino said I can still do them. Yes, even after I gave away 200 plus packs last time. And we finally got him. It cost 360,000 perfect points, but we got the PTCS Bob Feller. There are now no more Bobs in the game that this team does not have. Our last 2 buy orders for the other 2 Bobs also went through. Speaking of teams I could probably afford to get some missions finished. So yeah, we got Bob Patterson recently. He probably, he might actually make the club. I think he goes in over Grimm or Trowbridge at least. Yeah, I think Trowbridge heads down. And let's get Patterson in. I will say, this is the most diamonds in a Bob pitching staff this early in the game cycle we've had in a long time. Bobs might break the curse and finally win a championship. Well, no, they broke the curse last game cycle, but you know what I mean. The team is still besotted. On to the Shibogamo Francophonies. Teams or players with French last names. And yes, Pocket counts because it's a derivation of Phuket. Or Phuket. Bob's and the Francophonies in the same division. Oh dear. So we're just waiting for Belle and La Joie to come down in price. Chasing the missions is not something this team can do. And none of these other cards move the needle for us. Wait, is Hogue a French last name? Norman French topographic from the Old Norman word Hogue, from Old Norse. Yep, counts. Making an audible, it counts. So we'll go get Bobby Hogue. That definitely helps out with the pitching staff. So Monsieur Brassier can give way. Now we got a new closer in Monsieur Hogue. Starting rotation's a little bit wobbly, but we'll manage. Monsieur Parent, backup shortstop. Really not suited for the DH job, but what else are we going to do with him with Marc Belanger also on the team? Ditto for Mr. Durocher. Okay, maybe Mr. Durocher doesn't play at low bronze anymore. Now that these guys can learn shortstop or second base. Oops. Yeah, Francophonies relegation zone, pretty sure. And the last theme team. The Hiroshima Team Redacted. Players who played in Japan at least 2 games. And that's only because Kenji Jojima's not in the game yet. Otherwise, I only have 1 catcher. Roger Clemens pitches a complete game. 3-hitter against us. Oof. My guy, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the ace of aces. Yeah, this team's a little bit not so good for high bronze. Who did we get recently? We got the Scott Sanders card. We, of course, have the live Ohtani. We're not pitching him because I don't think his pitching ratings play on this roster. Not over the guys we've already got. And yes, we have both the L.E. Nomo and the L.E. Leron Lee. We're just waiting for Sasaki to come down in price, which, thanks to the missions, that may be a while. So maybe we do go on a mission finishing run over the next little while for the theme teams. Maybe now's the right time. Get some points. Alright. I'm going to raid y'all into Yukadin Kazami. Streaming on this Saturday. For my fellow Torontonians, have a great and safe Pride weekend. I'm heading out to Church and Wellesley once I log off myself. And then you'll see me next on Wednesday with the Flying Purple Baseball Beaters. As they continue the 2021 season, can we get out of the wild card and back into a division spot is the question. Time is precious, folks. I'm grateful you've chosen to spend some of yours with me today. Have a great rest of the weekend. Happy Canada Day. Firage, would you do me the honors?